Morning, everyone, and welcome to this session on relaxation techniques by Dr. Shashikant.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Shashikant, good morning. Good to see you again, sir. I think we could wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. I can see some people are still joining in. Most of the people who are there today, almost all of them were there yesterday also. So I don't think Dr. Shashikant needs an introduction from me by now. Most of you know him very well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for introduction.
By the time some more people joining, in case somebody has any question for Dr. Shashikant regarding regarding yesterday's session, you may please ask. Unmute yourself and ask. Seems there are no questions, Dr. Shashikant.
Nice, sir. So after this session, I think there will be at least more than 10 minutes available for us. So today there will not be much introduction. Introduction I told most of the things yesterday only. So today we'll do the complete technique. It might take 16 minutes to 26 minutes depending on the time and availability. So but I'll go a little slow, little more relaxed, little more not in a hurry kind of. So exclusively we'll do this technique today. And once we're done and once we feel really relaxed, so then we'll all the questions will come up.
Yes.
So, and after the session, I think we'll have a question and answer. So maybe anything and everything for the last 5 classes they can ask. Maybe some 10 minutes we'll allot for that. All right.
Great, sir. I think it's already 2 minutes past 11. We could possibly start the session now.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Fair enough. So, namaste one and all. Today I'm sitting in my clinic consultation room so that I'll be visible to you to do the relaxation technique little better. Yesterday I was in another room. So today's relaxation technique, what we are going to do is called as JPMR. JPMR. So it was named after a Canadian physician by name Jacobson. And this is a progressive muscular relaxation technique. Progressive means one after another, muscular, muscle relaxation. So as the name suggests, so you start relaxation on one part of the body, of the muscles, some group of muscles, then go to the next part of the body, then go to the next part of the body, then go to the next part of the body, phase-wise, part by part relaxation. So it is called as progressive muscular relaxation technique. It is also called as neuromuscular relaxation technique. And there are more than 300 research articles for this because it was done by a Canadian physician who tried and tested this on patients of hypertension, patients of general anxiety, depressions, body pain, neck pain, knee pain, all those things, most of them. So there are much more research articles on this technique. So basically this technique is nothing, for me it is nothing but a yoga nidra, where you are using the deeper part of your mind and working on the muscles to relax it more and also suggesting the muscles to relax more. So it uses a biofeedback or a biorhythm technique where it uses the contraction of the muscles and the relaxation of the muscles. Very simple. So contraction, your mind is aware of the contraction, you feel the contraction, slowly release. Mind is aware of the relaxation, you feel the awareness of relaxation. So from this one part, it goes to the next part. So this is designed like that. So to make it very simple, so this technique do not contain any chanting of mantra, visualization, mind imagery, nothing. So it only contains the feeling of the muscle tension and the feeling of the relaxation and being aware of this duality. So there is a contraction, there is a relaxation, there is a tension and there is relaxation. So worries, tensions on one side, relaxation on the other side. So duality of the life, good and bad, male and female, all this, disease and no disease, all the dualities of life, you can put it, during this technique. So this technique also works as a thought dissociation technique. So you are dissociating your thoughts from any other negative impeding thoughts or worrisome thoughts to neutral part, that is on your muscles. So during this time, the number of thoughts will be totally reduced. I'll not say nil, it will be reduced. Number of thoughts are reduced, you really feel much better. Okay. So I want you to be ready for this. See, you are able to see my seating position. So I will put my neck like this. And okay, I'll just put this camera a little backward. Just a moment. Okay. I hope you're able to see me fully. So I'm sitting like this. I'm coming to the edge of my chair and I'm putting my neck towards the chair. And if you have something to keep, you can keep your leg like this. Do you see me in the center frame?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. So if you can make yourself comfortable like this, you can do it. If you don't have anything to keep it down underneath your feet, you can just keep the leg down and head like this. Simple, yeah. Okay. If you have something to keep, you can keep your leg. Like
Doctor, if you don't have that type of chair, what we should do?
If you don't have chair, I think you can stay.
No, if you don't have that type of chair, executive chair, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a normal chair,
yeah,
you just sit like this. So the normal chair will show you. So if it is a normal chair, you just sit on the chair, come to the edge of the chair and relax. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you can keep the feet a little straight so that so only thing is on your chair, whichever chair you have, if you are able to relax yourself where your neck is touching the upper part of this edge of the chair. If it is non-executive, you can just any chair, come to the edge of the chair and lean backwards so that your upper back touches your chair and legs are free. Legs are free down. Are you okay with this?
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this entire set of progressive muscular relaxation technique, we use 13 parts of the body, 13 group of muscles. And what we need to do is very simple. 5 seconds of contraction of certain group of muscles. Be aware of that. And after that, another 5 seconds of relaxation. I release the muscle. So only you need to do this. You don't need to close your eyes for this session because I want you to see me and you see the muscles contraction. You do this and then we phase wise, one after another muscle will go. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Yeah, done. So first one, make a fist of your hand. Okay, we're starting now. Make a fist of your hand. Hold your hands. Contract your forearm muscles as tight as you can. Full tight. Contract your forearm muscles as tight as you can. Hold it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very slowly, relax. Okay. Relax and be normal. So next is, so we are done with forearm. Next will be your biceps. So raise your hands like this, as if you're a bodybuilder showing your arms, biceps and triceps. Similarly, you're contracting the biceps and triceps and your arm. So contract fully, full tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Bring your hands down. Okay, keep doing. So first forearm, second is your arm. So next one, you're keeping the elbow straight, raising your shoulders towards your ears and holding this tight in that position. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very slowly, relax. Okay. So as you are feeling it, one we started here, 1, 2, 3 shoulders. Fourth one is your eyebrows. You are going to raise your eyebrows up like this. Raise your eyebrows, hold it tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. All right. So if you can, sir, if you can mute all of them, it will be nice. Okay. So next one is your eyeballs. So you are going to squeeze your eyeballs and hold it tight for 5 seconds. So close your eyes and squeeze your eyeballs. Hold it tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Feel the tension around the eyes and followed by relaxation. Very slowly and gently shift your awareness towards your jaws. So to work on the temporomandibular joint, I'll simply ask you to open your mouth as wide as you can and hold for 5 seconds. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Relax your jaw. Very slowly and gently, you're shifting your awareness towards your mouth. So mouth, you're working on the orbicularis oculi, mouth muscles, by making your mouth in the form of O. So you say O and hold for 5 seconds. O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very slowly relax. Your body is setting into relaxation, but still you're aware and you're keeping your eyes open till we complete the session. So next one is your tongue. So you're going to roll your tongue upwards within your mouth cavity and hold it in that position for 5 seconds. So roll your tongue upwards. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Very slowly and gently shift your awareness towards your neck. So in this, either you contract your platysma muscles or neck muscles, like pulling your neck muscles upward or extending your head backwards. So that could be a little easy for you. So extend your head backwards and hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very slowly bring it back. Next is we focus on the chest. In the chest, we're going to breathe in, hold our breath for 5 seconds and breathe out slowly. When you feel the breath inside and you hold, you feel the tension in your thoracic cavity. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Very slowly and gently be aware of the tension when you hold your breath, and be aware of the relaxation when you breathe out. Very slowly, shift your attention to the tummy. Keep your both hands on your tummy. Press your abdomen tightly and hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very slowly, release your hands on the abdomen. Bring it back. Now, if you are sitting on the chair, edge of the chair, you be aware of your seated posture, your hips and your thighs. So hips and thighs, you're going to squeeze together at once and contract and hold like that for 5 seconds. So squeeze your buttocks, contract your thigh muscles, hold it tight for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very slowly and gently release the quadricep muscles, release the hip muscles, and relax. And now coming to the last part is, if you're sitting like this, legs up is fine. If you're sitting your legs down, also fine. You're working on the calf muscles. So you're going to make your toes downwards, tighten the calf muscles and hold it like that for 5 seconds. So make your ankle contracted, toes pointing downwards, contract your calf muscles, below knee till the tip of your toes, all the muscles are completely tightened. Hold it tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Now, you can gently keep your eyes closed. So just to make you remember, we started with forearm progressive muscular relaxation technique. Forearm contraction for 5 seconds, relaxation for 5 seconds, then the arm contraction for 5 seconds, relaxation for 5 seconds, then the shoulders, then the forehead, then the eyes, then the jaw, then the mouth, then the tongue, then the neck muscles. Same thing. Contract for 5 seconds, relax for 5 seconds. Then the chest, hold your breath for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds. In your tummy, you are going to hold your tummy abdominal tightly for 5 seconds, and then you are going to relax. So next to that is your hips and your thighs, you are going to tighten for 5 seconds and then relax. Then below knee, till the tip of your toes, you're going to tighten and relaxation. 13 parts of the body. You are just counting mentally. Forearm 1, arms 2, shoulders 3, forehead 4, eyeballs 5, jaw 6, mouth 7, tongue 8, neck muscles 9, chest 10, abdomen 11, hips and thighs 12, below knee till the tip of your toes 13. So 13 parts of the body, tightening followed by relaxation. So we have done tightening and relaxation. Now you be aware of your mind onto your toes. At this juncture, you can keep your eyes closed. Maintain the same relaxed outlook. Keep your eyes closed. Shift your awareness towards your ankle. Focusing on your ankle. Feel at the back of your mind that your ankles and toes are relaxed. Very slowly, shift your awareness towards your calf muscle. Feel at the back of your mind that Your calf muscles are relaxed. Totally. Very slowly and gently. Shift your awareness towards your knee, your thighs, and your buttocks. Feel or imagine at the back of your mind that your kneecap, your thighs, and your buttocks are deeply relaxed. Very slowly, move it upwards. Your waist area is relaxed. At the back of your mind, you could feel that from the waist till the tip of your toes, your lower part of your body is totally relaxed. Slowly, shift your awareness towards your abdomen. Visualize and imagine that your abdominal muscles are relaxed. When your muscles are relaxed, the parasympathetic nervous system starts working more, and for your internal organs of your abdomen, there is better blood supply. So visualize yourself that your large intestine, your small intestine, your liver, your stomach, spleen, pancreas, all the internal organs are getting better blood supply. When you're relaxed, blood supply is better. During this time, body wants to repair itself. So repairing will happen when you are relaxed. This is how body thinks. Inside of your body thinks that when you are totally relaxed from the mind, from the body, then the healing process works. Very slowly and gently, move your awareness upwards towards your chest. Gentle, relaxed breathing and comfortable heartbeat you could feel. See the beauty of nature, how effortlessly, how without the slightest of the noise, your heart and lungs are working in hand in coordination with each other, so much silently, so much synchronously that if at all a human mind wants to create such a creation outside the human body in the form of machines, it will make a tremendous noise and it won't be so much smooth as of your own breathing and the heartbeat. So you be thankful for this universal energy or the God, if you call, based on your individual belief, whichever God you believe. Be thankful for that God who has given you this marvelous creation of your body, and you accept yourself completely. See how the lungs purify the oxygen and carbon dioxide from the body, supply the oxygen to each and every cell of your body, and how it takes out the carbon dioxide and throws it out just in a fraction of a second. Breathe in and breathe out. It does its work effortlessly. And how heartbeat pumps the blood required for all the cells of your body, including the roots of your hair and the nails. And it does absolutely effortlessly. And it will not have any chance to get upset on anybody on any time. Now, from the 12th week of being inside the mother's womb till we take last breath. Our heart and lungs work in hand with each other, in hand with each other. So if we also coordinate ourselves with the external nature and environment, the life will be a little more smoother. So with this awareness, move upwards towards your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, and your fingertips. Your entire upper extremity, both sides are relaxed. Your trapezius muscles are relaxed. Your neck muscles, platysma and sternocleidomastoid neck muscles are deeply relaxed. Your entire facial muscles are relaxed. There is a charm and an aura on your face. Your face looks bright and you look happy, contented from within. Very slowly, move your awareness to the mouth, tongue, jaws, eyeballs, and forehead. Feel that each part of your face is relaxed, is comfortable, and there is a better blood perfusion happening on your face. So face looks lightened up, so bright. And at this juncture of the time, the entire body, most of the skeletal muscles, from the tip of your toes to the head, are deeply relaxed. So keep your eyes closed. Mentally, this is one set of JPMR technique. And before you conclude, you can add a cognitive restructuring thought. So cognitive restructuring means if anything which you are telling something negative for yourself, like I am a patient, I am angry, whatever it is. So do something opposite of that, which will be beneficial for you. So somebody is having sleeplessness, you say that now onwards my sleep cycle will be better. Even though I sleep for short duration of 4 hours or 5 hours, it will be deep sleep and I'll be contented with that sleep. Something like that. Small positive sankalpa, like yesterday. Put that thought or sankalpa back in your subconscious mind. That can be anything simple. Or simply say my muscles, tone of the muscles and the coordination of the muscles is getting better and better day by day. My mobility of the body increases. My breathing capacity increases. My body-mind relaxation increases. Anything. My blood pressure will be under control. My diabetes will be under control. So any affirmation you would like to do it at the back of your mind for 3 times. Once you have sent the affirmation method to your own subconscious mind, which is 30,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. You might be aware of it or you might not be aware of it. So consciously, whatever negative signals will send to our own brain, the brain will take it up, the subconscious mind will take it up as an order. If I say I am 60 years, I did not have a knee pain yet. So it means that you're bodily, you're mentally preparing, imagining yourself to be having knee pain. So the knee pain comes. Not today or tomorrow, sometime it will come. Because you're mentally ready to accept that knee pain. Because you're waiting for the knee pain to come. Because you think that you're getting age. You should have knee pain, back pain, neck pain, diabetes, something to kuch to aana chahiye. You'll feel that. So if you can reframe that thought, so we'll discuss about this after some time. So after the positive sankalpa, very slowly and gently come back to body awareness. Take one deep breath in. Exhale completely. Gently move your fingers, move your toes. Be aware of yourself. Be alert, awake, aware at the back of your closed eyes. Be aware of yourself and the atmosphere around you. And very slowly and gently, with few blinks, open your eyes to the new world of relaxed awareness. Look around. Again, as that awareness game, where you look around and see the colors, you can perceive the colors with much more clarity and brightness. Why? Because you are more aware. Your awareness has expanded. Your consciousness is expanded right now. With this, very slowly come back to complete consciousness. Be alert, awake, open your eyes, and wait for 40 seconds before you start speaking. So enjoy that state of relaxation for a few seconds. Very slowly, you be free. Now you can speak or ask any questions if you want. And I will answer those questions at the same time. Maybe one mantra I would like to teach you, which actually I'll correlate with some scientific aspects of that. So now you are free to ask.
How do we practice it every day? Like we ourselves try to do this, and how do we do this every day?
Okay, very good question. So imagine this question arose for me for around 3 years before. Like people like it when you're learning in person with somebody giving you instructions. It is very good looking. You feel easy to practice. And the moment we go back home, I think we'll get confused. Oh, starting with forearm, or is it no? You get confused. So if you're doing it by yourself, you do it as a 5 seconds contraction, 5 seconds relaxation. Just any group of muscles, may not be any sequence. The entire arm can be one part, entire face can be second part. Like this. So if you'd like to practice like that, that will become like a short version or a long version of JPMR. For example, if I only want to use this part of my head and only contract the forehead, eyeball, jaw, mouth and tongue and neck muscles, I use this part for exclusively for migraine like issues, headache and migraine. So I use only deltoid or arm part when there is any frozen shoulder. So you can use a standard subsidized short version of JPMR. So we resolve this problem. Yeah, we resolve this problem of repetition by recording this audio in a noise-free environment. And I have that audio with me, which I'll ask Unmukh people to share it with you. So you can take it down every day, every single day. You can practice this. If, as a challenge, if you can check your mean blood pressure like 3 times every day, 1 time you check your blood pressure with the same instrument, same time, same person checking. Note down 3 instructions, 3 readings. Take the average of 3 readings of your blood pressure. Note down and start practicing JPMR every day before you sleep for about 40 days. 40 days, I call it like a mandala, or you do when you do japa or other things, you keep it as a mandala. Mandala means spiritual context is a mandala, but scientific context is for any habit to form, we take at least 30 to 40 days. And for you to have a lifestyle change in your own system, it needs 90 days minimum. So 40 days you use it as a new habit. You need 40 days or one mandala. And keep practicing for 3 months, it will become a part of your system. You can actually change the blood pressure 20 to 40 millimeter of mercury just with single full form of JPMR. Okay, just with this single JPMR. So J is Jacobson. So Jacobson was a Canadian physician who has designed this biorhythm program. So it is named after him, Dr. Jacobson. So J is that. PMR means progressive muscular relaxation. JPMR. When you want to search in the internet, you can search like JPMR or PMR or NMT, NMRT, neuromuscular relaxation technique. So JPMR became more famous, instant 4-letter word hit, you know. And
this should be done before sleep. That's what you said, no?
No. This can be used for sleep. This can be used for headache. This can be, so this is to.
No, daily practice. At what time? Any time?
Before you sleep, I mentioned because
that's what.
Yeah, once you sleep off, this what training you are giving before you sleep, it will get added up in the subconscious mind little easily. And the depth of relaxation, what you feel will be much more appreciable in the next day when you practice this before sleep. So I extensively use before sleep module of JPMR.
Right. That's what
you feel, doctor, once is sufficient or need to be done twice or thrice daily?
Depends on what purpose you are addressing. For example, if I have any obsessive compulsive disorder or anxiety, general anxiety disorder patients, I'll ask them to do 2 to 3 times in a day. So because 3 times in a day, you are breaking the thought abnormal negativism or negative thought cycle. So, but for us, for you, in general, I think once in a day at night would be ideal.
Suppose in general, I don't have any negative thoughts or emotions or any such type of problem, then also it will help for further improvement?
Yeah,
further
definitely.
Improvement or it need not be done?
No, it should be done. See, because in general, from our childhood till this age, we have not been trained to train our minds. You know?
Yeah.
We have been disciplined by the school in certain ways. We have been disciplined by our parents in certain ways, but we do not have the tools or techniques to work on our own mind. So some people will find it very difficult to, unless they talk to somebody, unless they speak out for 1 hour or half an hour, they'll not feel comfortable. It's because the number of thoughts are so much high in their mind that they need to do this as a letting out or a catharsis. We call it as catharsis, 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 letting your emotions out. So we have not been trained to do that anytime. So japa you'll do, or any spiritual practices you do as a ritual, that could be one module of distracting yourself from routine mundane life to something divine. So that could be one module where ancestors have made this as a relaxation technique without our knowledge. That could be possible. So that's how I see those beautiful, beautiful rituals, whatever rituals you are doing. So every ritual, every color you use, every festival, every worship of God, any God of any religion. So it is a set of cognitive training programs for you to believe the innate divinity within you. Once you realize that divinity, then you do not need the external tools of a God, picture, image. Once you feel the establishment of God within you, then you feel there is a perfect synchrony of mind, body, spirit. Once that mind, body, spirit synchrony is established, then that connectivity of a Jivatma and Paramatma, what scriptures talk, it will happen automatically because you are allowing your own energies to receive that signals of higher consciousness. So
Then
that's how you.
Then Dr. Sankalpa is to be different days or same to continue for a few days so that problem is completely get rid of, or what should be done about the Sankalpa taking?
Yeah, Sankalpa, what I can suggest is if you have, you note down 5 problems of you in the form
individual's
of
body, what 5 problems I have.
Yeah. So prioritize those 5 problems. Like put the most, if I have a diabetes, every day I will take insulin injections. So that will be there on the first in my mind. So that one you use as the first major form of Sankalpa. Sankalpa can be addition of one or more than one tools also. It should be only that it should be a small positive statement. So my blood sugar needs to be regularized. My blood sugar is becoming normal. So this could be one module of Sankalpa. Like that, you based on your individual requirements or need, you can prioritize those things. And then you can write it down, script it down, then you can work on it. So usually what we do is we individually script. We'll take all the detailed medical history of yours and ask all the details. Then we do the psychological evaluation. So normal medical doctor will never do any psychological evaluation anytime. So I do the personal evaluation of Beck's anxiety inventory questionnaire, your Epworth sleep cycle, all those. There are scales available, psychological batteries available, which I use that to find out physical history, mental mind problems combined together. Then I combine this basic JPMR and add something, on the over and above in the form of cognitive restructuring program. And then I make it like a package and give it to them.
Doctor, what I mean to say is, suppose 5 elements I have and prioritize that. So the same Sankalp says number 1 is the topmost priority. So that same Sankalp I have to take for a few days, or all the 5 to be taken one after one. That something is not getting clear to me, sir.
No, you can see what I suggested was when you prioritize, you give the prioritized version. 5 altogether, you can use it in a single day, and then you practice for 40 days. That is also possible.
Or one out of the priority stop for a few days.
Yeah. So out of so that's one way is you use all the 5 the priorities and you make it as the shortest possible positive statement, and then you repeat it for 5 times possible. If not, you use that one prioritized version. Only one you use for 1 month. Next month you can use other one.
That is what I wanted.
That is better. Yeah, fine. So depends on you. जैसे आपको comfortable लगे, you can use
the problems and the priority.
हाँ जी. So I call this as you are taking a seed of thought, seed जो बीज रहता है ना, seed of thought, putting deep down into the subconscious mind, and in due course of time it will sprout it out, that positive statement, positive affirmation. It will sprout.
That's right.
It will definitely touch upon your genetic expression, your protein production, enzyme production. Definitely it is going to touch, because that's what the modern epigenetics is also coming up with. Genes expression can be modulated by the thoughts and emotions. If it is so, if you're working on the emotions, working on the breathing, and then touching upon the genetic expression, still possible. But the only thing is you have to sincerely, religiously do it.
With all faith.
Yeah. Anji. So I have one question for you before you ask any question. Let me see all of you once. Kasturi Shetty, Shivagaru, Rita Vira, Vijayan, Vivi, Dina, Pawan Kumar, Lata Tameja, Nirmala Mehta, Rakesh Gupta, Kitan, Ponna Turmurti. So I have one question. It's Rajesh Mahajan, Advesh Tandon, Rajendra Gupta, Sushila, so many people, Dr. Laura Naik, Revati, iPhone, Rubina Ahmad, Minakshi, Umesha, Ori, Unmuk, Senior Hub, Sujata, all this. Okay, very good. Jolly, Manoj. Okay. My question is, do you think logically, how many years we are going to live as an individual? As individual, your own self, how there will be something in your mind, at least sometime you would have thought that how many years I'm going to live.
After this corona pandemic, I think it is uncertain now. We don't know.
Ideally, I would like to live till 75.
Everything
Okay.
has become uncertain.
Yeah. No, I'll really note it down. 75. Okay. Anybody else?
Same here, 75.
Yeah, notice the commonality here. 75.
80.
100.
80. Okay, who is that? Who is 100? Just let me know. Notice.
That's 100. Wow.
I would like to live for 100 years.
Ponnaptur Murthy ji. 100.
Yes,
Very
yes,
good.
yes. Yeah.
So, anybody else? 105. राजेंद्र जी, आप अनम्यूट करके बताइए. अनम्यूट कीजिए वो.
Rajendra Gupta, 100 years.
100 years. Okay, fantastic. मैं आपको संकल्प.
At the moment, I am 81.
Yeah.
Live another 19 years.
Yeah. Okay. So in this, if I say, is there anybody who is thinking of crossing 100?
With all the input that you have given, maybe all of us will cross 100.
Okay, Nirmala ji, yes. So, but it's only, the tools are there with you. God has given the air just below our nose. We only need to take it with the complete awareness. And God has given all the genetic expression. One side there are positive genes, one side there are oncogenes. What genes we express, it all depends on our own mind and genetic makeup also. So if I say, if you say 75, if you are 74, you start waiting for the death. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. So in this case, what I say is, I use a mantra called I am well, and I'm going to live for 140 years.
Always think big. Always think big.
No, I'll not say that let us live like a tortoise for 200 years. I'm not saying that. But
my wish, Dr. Shashikant, is that for however long I live, I want to be independent and not dependent on anyone. And I want to be in my sane mind.
But
so that's why 75.
Yeah. So this will be like this side or that side. If there is one side of a river, I want to be totally independent or I want to be totally dependent. So let us be in between, saying that I want to be independent as much as possible.
As far as possible, yes.
At the same time, I will be interdependent. So interdependent. Yeah. So that is what, if we think like this as an integrative in between, middle path, it will be easy. Otherwise it will put us under a lot of pressure. You don't want
Thank you, doctor. This is huge guidelines.
Yeah. So the grandchildren also dependent on you emotionally. Even if
That's
you
true.
feel that they are not dependent, they are indirectly they are dependent on you.
Very true.
So this is an interdependence. So if I make a statement of I don't want to depend on anybody, it looks like an ego statement actually. But in reality,
it is not possible.
No, in reality, we are having actually 7 intelligences.
Okay.
So homework for you is to find out what are those 7 intelligences of human body. So last two intelligences I'll tell you is intrapersonal intelligence and interpersonal intelligence. So
okay.
in between people, what you are able to communicate is your interpersonal intelligence, and within you, what you have thoughts, knowledge, and what you have added all these years of life experience, that is a huge value for that. You might feel sometimes that I'm useless, I'm not working anymore. So you may feel that, but what knowledge you're holding is absolutely, it should be it should be expressed somewhere. Like you, for example, you are in some trade or you are in bank. There are some.
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. There are some experiences which you have added along with all this, 30 to 60 years of life experience.
Right.
That you share it somewhere. You have all the modern gadgets. You have mobile. You record it for yourself.
Right.
Make a small YouTube video. You don't worry about how do I look right or not.
Nothing going to change. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any wrinkles and all those? Don't worry about that. So that you only worry if you are doing some movie or something like that. Then we'll think of all the makeup artists.
Right.
So my kind of mantra is, I'll say I am well. I am well. You can that like a 3 Idiots movie, all is well. So this is like I am well. I am well, and I am going to live for 140 years.
Right.
And
as of today, that will be my motto.
Yeah, I will strive to do that. If I'm not successful, it is left to whatever God who is there. Once we are gone, we'll go and see the God. So whatever Ishta Devata you say that based on my genes expression, in olden times, the lifespan expectancy used to be 25 years. Maybe in Iron Age and that kind, because the risk was very huge. You're sleeping
no medical attention.
Yeah, not even medical. So you're sleeping somewhere in the cave and suddenly tiger attacks and all this. So this life risk used to be much more higher.
Correct.
So in this age, in an Indian context, I think our average age is, I'm not sure, 68 to 73, I think. So that is on an average, that's our age.
Average male is 70, female is 75. That's what we read somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years more than gents.
Yeah. Okay, good. So
I am well. I will live 140 years.
Yeah, is my statement.
I'm interdependent.
I'm dependent, at the same time I'm interdependent. See, that's what I said. I want to depend on myself means I have to create my own oxygen.
Right.
So I'm depending on the nature. I'm depending on the nature. So you can do.
Myself, Jinder Gupta. I'm doing regularly pranayam and not taking any medicines till such age.
Wow.
Without medicine, I'm living this life.
How old are you, sir? आपकी एज क्या है, sir?
81.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow. Dr. Shashank, thank you very much for this tip. I will keep in mind.
Okay, I'd like to make one statement here. So that is absolutely good. There are some people in this world who can do that. But if somebody else will attempt that.
Right. We can see you.
There are some incoming disturbing calls. So if, for example, based on the Ayurveda principle, there are 3 doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And based on these 3 doshas, there are 7 personality types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
So people like Gupta ji, who is saying that I'm not depending on medicines, they will be somewhat like equal Vata, equal Kapha, equal Pitta. So their body constitution will be designed in such a way that any change in the external environment, they'll be able to adjust much better without medication. So there are very few people like that. So out of 100, I think if you say there are 20 people like that who will never have any medicines, any physical issues till their last part of their life. I also.
Vata, Pitta and Kapha always balanced in their bodies. The changes does not affect at all.
Yeah. So there are some certain body constitutions which are like this, where
this is naturally given, or it is built up, or it is developed.
it is natural by birth, from where the sperm and ovum fuses, zygote forms. At that time of our age, the body constitution will be designed.
What, Papa?
You could be. So what I can give you is I'll give you a questionnaire which will find out what are we. I am more of a Vata Pitta. So you are something like Kapha dosha, something like that. So what an Ayurveda doctor used to think, that also we have incorporated in our routine consultation. So when we do the integrated medical consultation, we also take care of this. Physical evaluation like a medical doctor, psychological evaluation just like a psychological doctor. At the same time, I'll give a questionnaire which will evaluate like what Vata Pitta Kapha doshas you have. So when I have this copy with me, I can this copy I'll give it to a specialist Ayurveda doctor who wants to do a special treatment with evidences. I will ask them what evidences you have done, what experiences you have, not just claiming, not simply claiming. Somebody will say, I'll cure the hepatitis, I'll cure this arthritis. No, not that. Anything evidence-based integrative medicine, I'll ask them. This is a challenge for them. Then they'll give the protocol, then we apply and adopt. This is how we manage. So what I suggest is, if you have a blood pressure, if at all you want to reverse the blood pressure, try everything. Don't worry. You go and get your ECG. Just as an example, I'll give. Go and get your ECG. Check your 2D echocardiography of the heart. If your heart has left ventricular hypertrophy, LVH है तो left ventricular hypertrophy है तो your heart is beating lot of volume of blood, more number of days, more than 1 year. It means the blood pressure medicines you must take, and still you can try to reverse it. No. If your left ventricular hypertrophy, if you are having left ventricular hypertrophy and you are taking medicines like Telma H or Amlocaine AT, whatever medicines you are taking, Ecosprin AV, you are taking these medicines to prevent any blood clottage. Either blood clot in the heart will become myocardial infarction, blood clot in the brain, it will become a stroke. So to prevent that, we are taking the medicines. If I convince myself like this and then take medicines, minimum medicines, I'll not say that too many medicines you take, medical lobby and all those, that is existing, but the science also exists. So take a proper decision. Do not say, I'm only taking homeopathy, I'm only taking Ayurveda, I hate English medicine. Don't do that. So if we are very intelligent, we should do the integrative medicines rather than indigenous Indian medical system. So conventional medicines and standard medical care together, it will become an integrative medicine. Is it not? So don't mind if I spoke a little extra about integrative medicine.
Doctor, you are going to give us a questionnaire.
I think I can give you the questionnaire. Yesterday's those 6 relaxation technique, notes I have. This one I'll take a picture of this and I'll give you. I made notes like this.
Oh yeah.
And I'll give you the questionnaire. I'll send it to Mahajan sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we'll circulate it to all the attendees.
Thank you, Mr. Mahajan.
Dr. Shashikant, I have a question.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, and Dr. Shashikant, I have a question.
Yeah, ji.
After doing the questionnaire, what are we supposed to do? We will do the questionnaire and get some information. After that, what we are going to do?
I think I'll speak to Mahajan sir once and I will coordinate with that. We'll see how best you'll be able to connect with me or with any of our students. Let us see. So,
Dr. Sir, I think people want to know that in case they were in case they need your consultation, how do they approach? So in case we have any case, somebody needs a personalized consultation, should we forward it to you, or how would you want that to work?
Yeah. So those things I'll speak it out. I have my website and a dedicated person who receives the call. So we'll share the number with you. So anybody wants to take up a consultation, individual consultation, anything like that, they can call us in that number and they'll book an appointment. Then I'll speak to you just like this and I'll send you the questionnaire and we'll interact. So minimum time I spent with each person is around 25 minutes to 60 minutes. So there I'll get to know most of the details of a person. Then we'll be able to work on much better.
You are Mumbai based?
I'm Bangalore based, sir. Mumbai, I have another student there in Kharghar and.
So you consult online?
Online.
Okay. And how much do you charge for a session or something related to?
Yeah, usually it will be around, I think around 700 to 1,000 rupees. Depends on the time spent, you know, and depends on what, if it is just for cough, cold related issues, it will be around 500 rupees. If it is little extended versions like psychological questionnaire and other things, it will be around 750 to 1,000.
Doctor, one more question. Please. How you correlate this relaxation technique with the general meditation?
Yeah, as yesterday.
Somebody doing meditation.
Yeah, yesterday you are there in yesterday's class.
Hello.
You are there.
Yes, sir. He was there yesterday.
Yeah,
yes, I was there.
Yesterday, I was mentioning 6 major approaches for relaxation. First one was progressive muscular relaxation. Second one was the autogenic training. Third one was the breathing technique.
Last one was meditation.
Yeah, fourth
last
one
was meditation.
Haji. Fourth one was yoga stretches. Fifth one was mind imagery technique. Last one was a meditation. So meditation, we can use it as a tool. So routine meditation involves you are focusing on Om, you are focusing on your breathing, you are focusing on doing some Prataka technique, focusing and defocusing technique like that. But I will convert the meditation tool with the auto suggestion of the mind, particularly related with that particular disease. So I'll make a unique meditation technique based on a disease specific nature. You know. So imagine it is just one example I want to give. Imagine somebody is having a small cell carcinoma of the lung. So it is very specific diagnosis. So cervical, endothelial carcinoma of the cervix. So mentally I create them a visualization saying that abnormal cells are angry with you and the macrophages or the leukocytes and the B cells, these plasma cells of the body are becoming more strong and strong. They are going and eating the cancer cells, something like this. I create the visualization technique like this. Then I'll say you're working on the breathing and all this. So immunologically, there will be definite changes. I'll not say that it will be 100%, but even if it is 5%, there will be significant change in achieving 2 things. One is the stress reduction in the cancer patient and a relaxed state of mind when you are achieving the same medicines, what you're taking, same procedures, what you're getting it done for the treatment, it will be much more effective.
Thank you.
Is it not? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Dr.
Are there any more
Shashikant,
questions? Dr. Shashikant?
Yes, so the techniques that you have told, how close are they to the mindfulness meditation practice? Because, some exposure that I've got to the Buddhist school of coaching, I did come across mindful meditation, including, for example, mindful walking, for you. So how related on Anapana breathing? So how related are the techniques, the line of technique, the school of thought that you're teaching? How related is that to those?
Yeah. Very good question. Very good question. I think if you connect and see all my 5 days of contents, I spoke about this already. So my aspect is I don't rigidly restrict myself to any field, any psychology, yoga, Ayurveda, Indian scriptures or Buddhist scriptures. I don't mind anything. For me, important is my patient's belief system, and based on the patient's belief system, I create the relaxation technique. For example, I have spoke about this Indian scripture by name Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra,
yes.
Where they say it is the first time Lord Shiva means the pure consciousness of the universe, that is Purusha, speak to the nature, that is Prakriti, Parvati or Prakriti, or the nature which we see. So universal intelligence speaks to the nature. Nature is designed in a particular way. So you take this as a scientific aspect. If it is a religious aspect, Shiva speaking to Parvati, and Parvati will ask, sometimes I feel like a mother, sometimes I feel angry with you, sometimes I feel like destroying the entire nature, what I should do. No, then Shiva will teach this Tantra technique. So I'll connect with this. In this Tantra technique, Lord Shiva teaches around 112 meditation techniques. 112. So 112 meditation techniques. For me, if I really deeply go into details, every spiritual leader of this world, whatever names you want to name, everybody are dependent on this Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. They'll tell you some names, fancy names. They'll tell you this engineering, that Sudarshana Kriya, whatever they'll say it. But everybody is dependent on this. So when Lord Buddha was into his search of, quest of his spiritual upliftment, he practiced for more than 6 years to 9 years. And at once, after tremendous penance, he adopted a technique of letting go. Let go. When he let go and taken up that payasam, when it was given him little bit of food and energy for his stomach, and then suddenly his mind was become totally empty. Then he conceived that mindfulness breathing, that is Anapanasati meditation. So that is nothing but the first meditation technique of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra is Anapanasati. By this statement, I categorically connect the Hinduism, the traditional aspect, and the Buddhist traditional aspect. People want to separate it. People say this is a Tibetan medicine, this is Ayurveda medicine, this is different. But basically, their undercurrent is same. So Vijnana Bhairava Tantra's first technique is mindfulness meditation. And on this mindfulness meditation, there are 296 research articles proven. Why it is famous is because it is proven. Second one, it is non-religious. I take Buddha as a person, as a scientist who did not believe in individual God worship. And then this scientist has got an enlightenment, and this scientist has created this path of Buddhism. So if it is really matters, the path is also important. The destination is also important. The path itself is a meditation. You're starting something, mindfulness breathing, mindfulness eating, mindfulness walking. Everything is a meditation. So I modify this. I use mindful pill taking. You're taking the medicines very slowly, gently, putting it under the tongue, accepting with a graceful heart. Then it will become mindful pill meditation. I can modify, you can modify. So I don't rigidly stick on to any religion, no dogmas, everything evidence-based, acceptable techniques which are working for my patients or the clients, I use that. So no, categorically no boundaries, but I am depending on the foundation stones of a Patanjali yoga techniques, Hatha yoga techniques together as a foundation. Based on that, I use my medical knowledge, psychology knowledge, and yoga knowledge. This is a mixture of all these 3 or 4 techniques. So Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Hatha Yoga, medical knowledge, psychology, and yogic aspects. So combined. If somebody is obese, I'll use a Hatha Yoga breathing technique, fast breathing technique of the left nostril. If somebody has bodily issues, I'll use a gentle form of a Patanjali yogic technique. Do as much as you can, Patanjali. Hatha Yoga is you must do the breathing technique. You must hold the breath. Rechaka, Puraka, Kumbhaka, karna hi hai. So if your goal is you want to get an occult power, siddhi pana chahte hain, so you are sticking on to Hatha Yoga. I'm not holding on to anything. I'm just flowing freely. Not rigid dogmas, not leftist, rightist, central. So it is everywhere we are there. So that is how I chose the integrative medicine.
Okay. Thank you so much, doctor.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Shashikant. It will be our pleasure to have you with us again on 7th of April with the next session on breathing techniques part 1. And thanks to all the participants today. Tomorrow we have a 4 o'clock session with Sonia Kapoor on Tulsi and Giloy. So whatever you want to know about Tulsi and Giloy, tomorrow is the opportunity for you, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Shashikant. Once again, we'll see you again on 7th of April. And thank you very much to all our participants. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.